Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing very well. To my left or to your right, or whichever way you like watching your watching this video, we've got Rads.
Hi, how you doing, mate?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Looking forward to the game. Should be 3 points really, but you never know with the championship, do you? So
No, it's the championship. It's the championship. You never know what's going to happen in it. I mean,
absolutely.
it's. I mean, Reading at home. It should be. It is must win actually. To be fair, going into what a big week. I mean, Reading, you're probably going to be looking 3 points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously I've watched Reading from afar this season, but they've been pretty terrible. I've had a points deduction, but nothing like Derby's. But they've just been really poor, and I think they're fortunate that there's been worse teams than them in the division. And I was frustrated that we didn't beat them the first time because they were not far off where they are now, and we should have won that game. Really, I remember. I think Gavin had a sitter that he missed in that game or something, so it was quite frustrating not to win that one. But then again, we never beat Reading away, so it was to be expected. But yeah, I mean, last few years we not even beat Reading at home, so it'd be really nice to change that. I think it was when Sudani scored in that 18-19 season, so it's been a long while since we beat Reading, so we need to change that. And yeah, I think every game's a must win, but especially when it's at this stage of the season, everything's so crucial. And it is weird having like 4 straight games at home. I'm gonna complain about it though, because it's pretty cool to have so many home games in one go. Obviously, QPR and then a small game against Liverpool after that. So it's pretty big week coming up, and you'd like to think that Reading would be a win to start it. It's I like the fact that we're playing 3 teams with different levels. One at the bottom end, one that's kind of stuttering in QPR, but they've been at the top end all season, and then probably the best team in the world or one of. It's going to be really interesting whether we can get maximum points or progression into the next round for every single game. So looking forward to it. But it should be a win really against Reading because they're not that good.
No, and it's that sort of game where you think we should be winning it, but then you don't know with Forest and the championship. So, and it'd be nice to start off that week with a win. I mean, just to get things going and just carry on that sort of momentum that we had from Huddersfield.
Yeah, I think Huddersfield is a great result. Obviously, we seem to start a bit nervously. I think we go into that game really. I wasn't surprised the way Huddersfield played. You could tell that they were doing so well. I mean, they played well against us in December, but they kind of just shut up shot as soon as they scored and just made life very difficult for us to score. And God knows how we didn't score that game. You look at 1-0 defeat against Huddersfield, they were like 9th. It looks a bit disappointing, but we did not play that bad that game. It was just unfortunate, and we had injuries as well at the time. But I thought Monday was, the way we handled it was really good. Some really good performances again. Great to see Sam Surridge get a go from the start, and I thought they did really well. And it's a really nice problem to have with Gavin coming back eventually. It's not that long away now, and having Davis. We've finally got a good set of strikers, and it's been a long time since we've had that. The great wall of China at the back, and the great wing backs we've got. The whole team just played really well. So hopefully we can continue that against Reading. But I know it was a cup game, but in the last month we've beaten the second in the league twice in Huddersfield and Blackburn. So that's going to be encouraging.
I love how you used to quote the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, I've used that before. I just thought it's a great way to describe it. Really, you're not going to get past them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's nice to have that really good competition, that really good set of centre backs, and great set of strikers at the club. I mean, now Sol's got, well, he should have 2 goals to be fair on Monday, but for some
Yeah,
reason the liners thought it was offside, but
it
um,
wasn't.
yeah, it's nice to have him getting off the mark now, and obviously Davis being Davis and Grabban's not too far behind. It's nice to have that really, really good competition forefront, and obviously Brennan's doing his business. He's been on form, and it's just
Yeah,
nice to have that. Really, everyone's coming into their own now.
yeah. I think when I think I don't know whether Surridge was here when Graham got injured or not. I think he was, but we only had Davis for like a few days, and everyone was saying, "God, what we're gonna do?" And we started to play Johnson as a striker along with Davis, and then we got Surridge in, and when we get Graham back as well, because I don't think we've had all three of them at once yet
Uh,
available because Graham was out. But obviously, I think we had Taylor. I think he was still with. He wasn't with us for Leicester, was he? He was Arsenal. But I think we still had. So I think we had. There was a time when we had Taylor or something. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't think he's got a future as far as Taylor. Now we've got all these striking options, and even Brennan who can play in multiple positions, which I always like that when a player can adapt. And I think I do prefer Johnson as more of a winger or attacking midfielder, but he can still do the job. And I think earlier on in the season, actually, one of Cooper's first games against Barnsley away, he played as a false nine on his own. And then obviously, remember, we brought Graben on and we turned that game around, and it was the start, really, of Cooper's revolution. But yeah, it's great that we've got so many brilliant options all across the park. And, the fact that we've signed players who appear to be good and they're not even played yet, like Larea and Panzo, and players that have now been sold and didn't even play for us, like Drager and Eli. I know Eli was injured, but we signed quite a lot of players that haven't even played or hardly played at all. And I think Cooper was saying something about that the other day. Not so much the new signings, but players like Bong and Figueiredo, and I think you mentioned players like Larea and yeah, Silva, players like that. Players that don't play, they still are very professional about the way they go about their business. They're still very committed and want the best for the team, and that's exactly what you want. There's quite a few times where they're going to be frustrated not to be playing, but it's what you want to see: professionalism, and at the very least, they want the best for the club, and they understand if they don't play, it's obviously the right decision for the team.
and the good thing is that we are getting players back as well. I mean, obviously we said Grabban, we have got Martin who's came back from injury. He got a couple of games.
Yeah.
Got Lolly coming back as well, even though he's been hit and miss. So we have got important players coming back anyway, which you bode well with the new signings that we had.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like Ollie and Mike, and I think they're not necessarily starting options all the time like Johnson, but I mean, some people are a bit 50-50 with Mighton, but I think he's a good option. I think he can definitely get better, and I've seen people saying he should go on loan, which might not be the worst thing to do. Obviously, Lolly's not what he was from a few years ago, but I think even just the 5 minutes he played against Sheffield were really encouraging, really. So you can't really say that he's not gonna at least maybe offer something good. And I'd love. I mean, imagine the squad we've got right now with in attack anyway with Johnson and Davis and Graben and Surridge and Zink, and you add a prime Joe Lolly back into that. It's pretty scary for the opposition really to see that set of options. And if we can get Lolly firing again, then I think we're certain to get the playoffs because on top of what we've already got, you had a player that we know full well can be a real threat and be one of the best in the division on his day. But whether he does that or not is another question. He's got to work his way back into the team first. But yeah, it's great that we've got these players coming back, and we are pretty good now in depth all across the pitch.
Definitely, and that would bode well, especially if Cooper wants to changed it about. I mean, that's been a bit of a hot gossip for Monday on who we would start. Like Sam Bin said, Colbert in centre midfield would have started him or not. Obviously, now Stu's fan is feet would you start Stu's all Davis all together. So it's nice to have them options. And with Yates being a bit more informal and he's scoring, it's like who would you start?
I think it's a brilliant issue to have because, like, I can't think of many times before where you're thinking, well, he's going to be starting, but they can't both start, so one of them's got to be on the bench. But you say that about the other player, and it always appears like it's one of Zinchenko or Colbert that's on the bench and the other one's starting. And, you know, I don't even feel that bad about the fact that one of them's on the bench because we still play without them. But when we add the other person into the mix, arguably Colbert's better and more important. We play even better. But I mean, Colbert's fantastic, and you know, I personally prefer it when we have Garner playing as like an attacking midfielder because I think that's good that he can do that. He's a more defensive-minded player, but he can play further up as well. And I think it was against Peterborough actually, he scored and got an assist when he played in that role, and played there against Blackburn, I think, as well, and he did a great job. Obviously, scored again. I like it when Jimmy plays further up the pitch because I like Zink, but he is a bit hot and cold, as a lot of people have said. Like, you know, he sometimes can have games where he's just invisible, like against Huddersfield, to be honest. But then games like Sheffield, you see it in sprint from the opposition penalty box to put in an amazing tackle. I thought that was excellent to see. You know, out of all the lone players, I'd like to see all of them stay. If I was to pick one to sacrifice, it probably would be Zink. Only I wouldn't complain if we signed him either. So, you know, it's a bit of a 50-50 one. But yeah, it's great to have all these options. I personally think Holback needs to start all the time, but I think Zink needs to start as well. So, you know, it's a great issue to have. And eventually we're going to have to try and maybe put someone like Lolly or Martin into starting 11. Maybe against a lesser side or something. But Steve Cooper doesn't really pick weak teams. He always plays a strong side. He goes for it, which is great. And I think that's the reason why we've done so well in the Cup. We've not just disrespected it and played like 8 different players. So, you know, it's good that we're not disrespecting the FA Cup.
Definitely, I do agree with that. Especially if we have a full strength side tomorrow against Reading. I mean, Reading, they've got John Swift, who we was linked with, funny enough, and he seemed to be the danger man, but he hadn't seemed to be firing no cylinders this season. So, obviously, you know that Yates and Garner whoever plays in that centre midfield will do a job on him.
Yeah, I mean, Reading, they're poor, but they probably shouldn't be as bad as where they are because last season I watched them and they had players like Swift and Zhao and Ajaria and Lawrence. They had some great options in there. I remember we were linked with Josh Laurent and he got into the team of the season, I think. So, you know, the whole team's fell off and it was an overachievement for Reading to finish 7th last season and there were in the playoffs quite a bit of it as well. But I didn't think they would be quite as terrible as they are. What hasn't been helped is the fact that Zhao's been injured for most of the season and he's come back recently and scored quite a few. So that could be a lifeline for Reading. And yeah, obviously Swift hasn't been as good, but I don't think anyone else. And I still wouldn't mind John Swift because he's a set piece taker. And he scored some great goals in his time from what I've seen of him. So yeah, they've got some good players in there, Reading, but they just don't seem to function as a team very well, seemingly. So, you know, that's going to obviously be played into our advantage.
Yeah, they also got Paul Ince as manager, which, I mean, when that one came out, I was shocked to be fair. I mean, fair enough, I expected Reading to sack the manager, but for Paul Ince to come in now, we're like...
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's only temporary, but is he really the one to like keep a team in the Championship? I'm not really sure whether that was the right call or not, to be honest.
obviously he will probably get a lot of abuse for the game.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we often give the opposition manager the stick. To be honest, like Gary Rowett always gets a bit of stick, and who was it? I think yeah, shouting about their trainers and stuff, which is always pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. Normally it's um. What would your score prediction be? I mean, we spoke about everything. How do you feel going into it tomorrow?
Well, like we were saying, yeah, it should really be a win for Forest, based off the league position, and Reading's form and our form. It should be straightforward, but it never is in the Championship. I mean, I think it's rare, but we looked at Bristol. I think we could be in for quite a similar game, quite a routine win where Forest start pretty quickly, which is not something we always do, and we just see the game out. And Bristol, we could have easily scored 5 or 6. Like genuinely, we just needed to be more clinical. Quite a few times where we could have scored a goal in that, more than 2. I think we could be on for something similar to that. And because Reading are worse than Bristol, hopefully it should be more. And I just love the fact that we score so many goals. Like I used to think for so long, I just want to see my team win comfortably, like 3-0, 4-0. And we've done that quite a few times now under Steve Cooper, like Swansea and Preston. Obviously Leicester, we've won big quite a few times now.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact we're coming away from games and we've scored a couple, and we're still saying we probably should have scored more against great sides like Blackburn as well, and even Bristol is really encouraging. Anyway, I think I'm going to go confident. I'm going to go 3-0 Forest.
Oh, 3-0. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But I do agree
Hopefully.
with you. I do agree with you because we are looking in for winning that 2-0 games. We are looking really comfortable and we should have scored more. And even that 2-0 was saying that's probably the baseline for most games at the minute. I mean, I scored more like Preston, Leicester, and all them. It's looking good. So
absolutely
2-0, it's like I don't know if it sounds that, but you just feel a little deflated. Like could have been more.
Yeah, I mean, take last season for instance. I was just happy if we just won. This season I'm somewhat disappointed when we don't score more than 2 goals in a game where we were thoroughly in control of. And obviously, I'm still pleased we won. But I'm just thinking, we should have scored more against them. But obviously, we didn't. But if we can bury our chances more, then I think, we could score even more goals for the rest of the season.
Yeah. Jamie saying wrapped up for half time, please. Let's score more when we're on top. I do actually agree with that. Being nice to see quite a few more goals before half time. I mean, on Monday it was quite nice for us to be so far to have 2 goals that we can never see it.
Yeah, I mean, we got 3 against Leicester, didn't we? Which was incredible. And we got 1 against Bristol, but it would be nice if we could score a few more in the first half. I mean, I remember saying on a vlog ages ago, we haven't scored at the Bridgeford end for so long, and since I said that, we've actually scored quite a few. So hopefully I've cursed us in a good way.
Yeah, I was saying after the Leicester game, I remember saying it to my mum like, typical that is. And we're not in Bridgeford. We scored 3 times down there. Since then, we must have scored every game as well down there. So
yeah, we're making a habit of it now, which is great because I sit down that end of the ground or on the right hand side. So I'd like to see a few more goals down that end.
Yeah, JC asking what the score will be against Reading and against Liverpool.
Well, I mean, I said 3-0 against Reading.
Yeah.
Liverpool. I mean, imagine if we won that. Like, it would be just ridiculous. I think it would go one of 2 ways. I think we'll either play a blinder like we did against Leicester, or they might just thrash us. But I mean, I really don't know.
We should get a bank holiday if we beat Liverpool.
I agree. I think that would be deserved. That would be deserved, to be honest. I don't know what to say to it though. It really, it's very 50-50.
Definitely. So I'd like to say thank you for watching, guys, and thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, have a look at Wags' channel as well. As per usual. So I'd like to say thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.